The African group of ambassadors in Beijing have sent a message to the government of the People's Republic of China and the International Department of the Communist Party in China to protest what they say is the ongoing forceful testing, quarantine and maltreatment of African nationals in China and in Guangdong province in particular. On Thursday, they met with government to voice their support of China's joint efforts with their home countries in the fight against COVID-19 and the opposition to the discrimination and stigmatization. Ambassador Mxolisi Nkosi is the Deputy Director General for Global Governance and Continental Agenda at the Department of International Relations, DERCO, and he joins us now via Skype. A very good morning to you, Ambassador Nkosi.
Hi, good morning, Desiree.
Is South Africa aware of this call by the Africa Group of Ambassadors in Beijing? And is the South African ambassador part of this campaign?
Well, indeed, we are aware of the diplomatic note that was issued by the African Group of Ambassadors in Beijing.
What is happening in Guangdong province that's being construed as discrimination and stigmatization of Africans?
Well, so far what we have received are just reports. These are allegations, and they still have to be investigated by the relevant authorities in China. May I just hasten to say that South Africa, in its capacity as the chair of the African Union, is indeed deeply concerned about reports of the alleged ill treatment of African nationals in China. These reports of alleged allegations, or rather of alleged actions against African nationals, are inconsistent with the excellent relations that exist between China and Africa, dating back to China's support during the decolonization struggle in Africa, and now manifesting in an extensive Africa-China partnership. This collaborative mutual relationship also finds expression in the support that China is providing to Africa in the ongoing fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. We welcome the action taken by the AU Commission Chairperson, Mr. Moussa Faki Mahamat, to call in the Chinese ambassador in Addis Ababa to provide an explanation and express the AU's deep concern about this matter. We also welcome the assurances given by the Chinese authorities that it is not the policy of China to discriminate against African nationals. We urge the relevant Chinese authorities to investigate these reports and to take appropriate remedial measures. We also encourage the African Group of Ambassadors in Beijing to continue to engage the Chinese authorities with a view to ensuring that Africans are not subjected to any ill treatment and that instead they are treated equally with respect and with dignity, like all other foreign nationals in China. This is the message that we've conveyed to the Chinese authorities, and we look forward to the Chinese authorities investigating these allegations and taking the appropriate remedial actions where necessary.
Going back to the group of ambassadors, it's interesting that the communications is both to government and party. Why was this the case? And why did the ambassadors have to take this route? Were they feeling that perhaps the African Union was not sufficiently assisting their cause?
In terms of diplomatic practice, the ambassadors who are resident in Beijing and accredited to the People's Republic of China, they have the right, they have the full authority to raise matters directly with the authorities in Beijing. They do not necessarily need the endorsement or the authority of the African Union. They are duly authorized to raise matters directly with the Chinese authorities.
So what's the way forward? Where to from here?
Well, as far as I'm informed, there is a meeting that is scheduled today in Beijing, where the ambassadors will be given the platform by the Chinese authorities to raise these matters and also to present evidence and all the reports that are relevant. And the Chinese authorities will take the matters forward. and we do hope that this matter will be resolved speedily.
So China's ambassador Song Xiang recently ended his term here in South Africa. Does it complicate DIRCO's communication with China in this regard, or are there other communication channels?
No, we enjoy very excellent cordial relations with China. Matters of this nature normally arise in diplomacy. And we subject these matters to the appropriate diplomatic channels. So we are engaging with the Chinese authorities on these matters, and as I say, we are hopeful that we'll find a solution.
Ambassador Nkosi, aside from this matter, there's been a lot of work that DIRCO has been doing in the fight against COVID-19, especially in terms of the repatriation of South Africans from different parts of the world. Just take us into this work and what it has involved so far.
Well, so far, as Minister Naledi Pandor has indicated in various press briefings, sorry about that. As I indicated, Minister Naledi Pandor has indicated in various press briefings that all our systems, all our structures have got their hands on deck, and they're working hard to make sure that South African nationals are assisted, are facilitated. Those who want to come back to South Africa, they are assisted. We've seen a number of SAA flights going to various capitals in the world to facilitate the repatriation of South Africans back into the motherland.
Let's thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you very much.
Ambassador Nkosi is the Deputy Director General for Global Governance and Continental Agenda. He was talking to us about the plight of African ambassadors in China relating to stigma in the fight against.
This is crazy. This is a full mess. My God, no comment.
Chinese people to find out why they oppose the bill.
像新闻总会爆出来很多黑人强奸啊这种事件，我不是针对这一个种族。
嗰啲客人咧玩咗嗰個女仔，個女仔有艾滋病，佢又玩咗另一個女大學生，個女大學生又有艾滋病。
伊斯蘭教的極端，這些大家都比較擔心了。你從歐洲啊和美國的這些經歷看起來都很明顯，對國家對文明的發展都不是特別好。
覺得點解佢哋過嚟，即係話咁中意去玩中國的女仔呢？
他们主要反对的是，不同意黑人进入到中国的这个地界上来，因为他们觉得中国人会祸害中国的女。
This is crazy. This is a full mess. My God, no comment.
Clarity. If you got my earlier question about some Nigerians who are worried that some of their relatives and their people are being badly treated in China, have you heard of any of such?
Well, no formal report was made to the ministry or the commission, but there are some videos going viral where people now decide that you must bully through social media. That is not acceptable, and I don't think any one of us should be allowed to be bullied through social media. Now, here's the situation. Some people were kept in a hotel in China, regular 14 days quarantine, free of charge. After the 14 days quarantine, you're supposed to go to your homes. Now you have some of these people who decided not to go to anywhere but start walking on the streets and saying, China, what are you doing with us? So normally we should learn to be disciplined and obey laws. If those Nigerians have a problem, where do they go to? You left the hotel, you wanted to continue to stay in the hotel, and they said, no, go to the mission in Guangzhou. They never went to the mission in Guangzhou. There's a mission in Guangzhou. We have a very functional Nigerian diaspora organization, very efficient, very proactive. They didn't report to them. Now you went on the street and recorded yourselves. Now some people, rather than ask questions, just started saying blackmailing. That is blackmail. Now those Nigerians, the federal government has said you can come back home. Go to the mission. Register, put on your corona test, and then with the numbers compiled, you will be brought back home. Don't circulating videos. You don't know where those videos were recorded. So I don't give in to social media bullying. No reporters to the commission, but I'm telling you, from the mission there, the mission in Guangzhou, let them go there, register their names, show their documents and all that, and register properly. And then the Nigerian mission in Guangzhou will liaise with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and bring them back. Names are already being compiled. They're on the street. Are they supposed to be on the streets walking around in China? No. You're not supposed to be moving about in groups. You're supposed to be in your homes. They are walking around. If they have homes, go there. If they don't have homes, go to the mission. Register, bring your documentation, and the mission will arrange for you to come back home. So please, I want to stress that all that social media bullying should not be tolerated, should not be accepted. Let's do things.
On April 8th, a large number of African people in the southern Chinese city Guangzhou were driven out by their landlords and had to stay on the streets. Another video shows many Africans dragging their luggage aimlessly through the streets of Guangzhou. One of them says, "We are just walking on the road. They can't give us a house, they can't give us a hotel, and they cannot provide a place we can stay." It comes after all of the cases reported by Guangzhou authorities in April were reportedly related to African people. Chinese media have only reported about testing people from abroad. They haven't talked about testing locals, so we can't rule out the possibility that many of the locals are also infected, but it's not being reported. It's led to discrimination against Africans among local Chinese. One citizen says the Africans staying on the street are a potential safety threat and a virus transmission hazard. Guangzhou is likely going to be a catalyst that ignites southern China.
This is crazy. This is a full mess. My God. No comment.